absolute responsibility for your life is the first and most fundamental rule for transformation. Everything changes the moment you stop making excuses, stop blaming others, and fully own your reality. Most people go through life pointing fingers at their past, at their circumstances, at society. They create a narrative that justifies why they aren't where they want to be. But here's the truth. As long as you're blaming something outside yourself, you are giving away your power. You are making yourself a victim of external forces instead of the creator of your own destiny. Think about this. Two people can grow up in the same environment, face the same struggles, and yet one rises to greatness while the other remains stuck. What's the difference? It's not their resources, it's not their luck. It's their mindset. One person takes full responsibility for their actions, their choices, their emotions, and their outcomes. The other waits for something external to change before they do. But life doesn't work that way. If you want a different result, you have to take full responsibility for making it happen. Now, responsibility doesn't mean guilt. It doesn't mean shame. It doesn't mean beating yourself up over past mistakes. It means recognizing that no matter where you are right now, no matter what has happened, you hold the power to shape your future. When you take responsibility, you reclaim control. You stop saying, why is this happening to me, and start asking, what can I do about this? That shift is everything. It moves you from a passive state to an active one, from reacting to creating. The greatest leaders, the most successful individuals all share one thing in common. They never waste time blaming. They focus on solutions. They own their failures as much as they own their victories. Why? Because when you take responsibility for everything in your life, you give yourself the ability to change anything. If something is wrong, you fix it. If you don't know how, you learn. If you fall, you get back up. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's the willingness to take ownership. So let's bring this to you right now. Look at an area of your life where you feel stuck. Maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your relationships. Ask yourself, have I truly taken full responsibility for this? Or am I still blaming something outside myself? If you're honest, you'll probably see where you've been making excuses. And that's okay. Recognizing it is the first step. But now it's time to shift. What can you do right now, today, to start changing that situation? It doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be something within your control. Because here's the reality. Your life will only change when you decide that no one is coming to save you. No external force is going to magically fix everything. The government won't do it. Your boss won't do it. Your friends, your family, they can support you, but they can't take responsibility for you. Only you can. The moment you stop waiting for things to change and start making the change yourself, that's the moment everything shifts. So decide today, own your choices, own your actions, own your life. Because the moment you do, you'll realize something powerful. You are in control all along. Your mindset is the foundation of everything in your life. It determines how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately the results you get. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to rise effortlessly while others struggle, the answer is simple. The world responds to your inner state. What you focus on expands. The thoughts you consistently hold shape your actions, your habits, and your destiny. Most people live in a reactionary state. They believe their emotions, their outlook, and their results are dictated by external forces, by their job, their relationships, the economy, or the opinions of others. But this is an illusion. You are not a product of your circumstances. Your circumstances are a product of you. The way you think about yourself and the world determines the opportunities you see, the risks you take, and the possibilities you allow yourself to pursue. Let's break this down. Imagine two people face the same setback. One person sees it as proof that they are doomed to fail, that life is against them, that nothing ever works out. The other sees it as feedback, as an opportunity to learn, as a challenge to rise above. Same situation, two completely different responses. And those responses dictate their next move. One gives up, the other adapts and grows stronger. Over time, these small differences create radically different lives. The truth is, your thoughts are not just passive reflections of reality. They are active forces shaping your future. Every belief you hold creates a filter through which you interpret the world. If you believe that life is happening to you, you will find endless proof of that. If you believe life is happening for you, every struggle becomes a stepping stone. It's not about pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing how you engage with them. So, how do you shift your mindset to one that serves you? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind on a daily basis. Are they empowering or limiting? Are they moving you forward or holding you back? When you catch yourself saying, I can't, challenge it. Is that really true, or is it just a story you've been telling yourself? The mind loves certainty, and it will cling to whatever beliefs you reinforce the most. So make sure those beliefs are pushing you forward, not keeping you stuck. The next step is to condition your mind for success. Just like the body needs exercise to stay strong, the mind needs training to stay sharp. What are you feeding your mind every day? Are you surrounding yourself with negativity, doubt, and fear? Or are you intentionally consuming ideas, knowledge, and perspectives that challenge you to grow? The most successful people in the world have one thing in common. They guard their mindset like their life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. When you shift your mindset, you shift your reality. You stop seeing obstacles as dead ends and start seeing them as puzzles to solve. You stop waiting for permission and start taking action. You stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of the journey. This is the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. Not intelligence, not talent, but the ability to direct their own mind. So ask yourself right now, what beliefs are shaping your life? Are they empowering you or are they holding you back? Because the moment you decide to take control of your mindset, everything else begins to fall into place. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort. They want the easiest path, the smoothest road, the least resistance. But comfort never leads to greatness. If you want a life that is fulfilling, meaningful, and truly extraordinary, you have to stop asking, what's easy, and start asking, what is meaningful? Because meaning, not comfort, is what leads to lasting happiness. Think about the people you admire most, the leaders, the innovators, the visionaries. Did they get to where they are by taking the easy road? Absolutely not. They got there because they were willing to push beyond their limits. They chose purpose over convenience, discipline over excuses, and meaning over momentary pleasure. And that's why they succeeded. That's why their lives are filled with impact, fulfillment, and significance. But let's talk about you. Where in your life are you avoiding difficulty? Where are you choosing the short-term reward instead of the long-term gain? Maybe it's in your career. You stay in a job that feels safe even though it's draining you. Maybe it's in your health. You avoid the discipline of exercise and nutrition because it feels uncomfortable. Maybe it's in your relationships. You avoid difficult conversations because you don't want to feel exposed or vulnerable. Whatever it is, I promise you this, the thing you're avoiding is the very thing that will set you free. The problem is most people don't realize this. They think happiness comes from avoiding discomfort, but real happiness, the kind that lasts, comes from growth. And growth only happens when you step outside of your comfort zone, when you challenge yourself, when you choose meaning over ease. Let's break it down. If you chase what's easy, what happens? You might feel good in the moment, but over time you start feeling stuck. You start feeling empty. You start feeling like something is missing. That's because deep down your soul craves progress. It craves purpose. It craves the satisfaction that only comes from overcoming, evolving, and becoming more. But when you pursue meaning, something incredible happens. Yes, it's harder. Yes, it requires more of you, but it also gives you more. It gives you energy. It gives you direction. It gives you a reason to wake up in the morning and go after life with everything you've got. And that's worth more than any amount of temporary comfort. So how do you shift? How do you stop chasing what's easy and start pursuing what's meaningful? You make the decision right now that you will no longer let fear or resistance dictate your choices. You commit to stepping up even when it's uncomfortable. You ask yourself every day, what is the highest version of me capable of, and what action would that version of me take right now? Because at the end of your life, you won't look back and feel proud of the times you played it safe. You'll remember the moments when you took a risk, when you pushed through, when you chose growth over fear. That's what will define your life. That's what will create a legacy. So decide today. Stop chasing what's easy. Start chasing what matters. Everything in life comes down to the standards you set for yourself. Not what you say you want, not what you wish for, but what you demand of yourself every single day. Look around at your life right now. Your health, your relationships, your finances, your mindset. These are all a reflection of the standards you've been willing to accept. If you're not where you want to be, it's because at some level you've settled. You've allowed yourself to operate at a level lower than what you're truly capable of. And the dangerous thing is we don't even realize we're doing it. We rationalize, we make excuses, we tell ourselves, I'm doing the best I can, but deep down, we know the truth. We know when we're cutting corners. We know when we're giving 70% instead of 100%. But here's the good news. At any moment, you can change your standards. You can decide that you will no longer tolerate anything less than excellence from yourself. You can commit to raising the bar, not just in one area, but in every area of your life. And let's be clear. This isn't about perfection. It's about refusing to settle. It's about holding yourself to a level where you know you're growing, you're evolving, and you're becoming more than you were yesterday. Think about the most successful, fulfilled, and driven people in the world. What separates them from everyone else? It's not just talent. It's not just intelligence. It's their standards. They don't accept mediocrity. They don't operate at the level of good enough. They demand more from themselves, and because of that, the world gives them more in return. This applies to everything. If you have low standards for your health, you'll tolerate feeling tired, sluggish, and out of shape. If you have low standards for your relationships, you'll accept disrespect, miscommunication, and a lack of intimacy. If you have low standards for your career, you'll stay stuck in a job that drains you rather than creating a life of purpose and passion. So how do you change? How do you shift from settling to rising? It starts with a decision, a real decision, not just saying, I should take better care of myself. Not just saying, I should be more disciplined, but deciding right now that you will no longer tolerate anything less than the best from yourself. And here's the key. You need to back that decision with action. Set new standards, and then follow through with the habits that match those standards. If you decide you will no longer tolerate being out of shape, prove it by committing to daily exercise. If you decide you will no longer tolerate being financially unstable, prove it by learning, growing, and making better choices. Your standards are only as strong as your actions. So I want you to ask yourself, what have I been tolerating in my life? Where have I been settling? And more importantly, what new standard will I set for myself today? Because the moment you demand more from yourself is the moment everything begins to change. Raise your standards and the world will rise to meet you. Most people live their lives reacting. They wake up, check their phones, respond to messages, handle whatever problem lands in front of them, and repeat the cycle every day. They don't have a plan. They're just responding to life as it happens. And when you live like this, you're not in control. You're being pulled in every direction by circumstances, emotions, and other people's expectations. You're not leading your life, you're just managing it. But there's another way you can make the shift from reacting to creating. You can take control of your focus, your time, your energy, and your destiny. You can stop letting life happen to you and start shaping your future with intention. It starts with understanding a simple but powerful truth. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Whatever you focus on expands. If you spend your days focused on problems, frustrations, and limitations, guess what? That's exactly what your life will be filled with. But if you direct your focus towards solutions, opportunities, and growth, your entire world shifts. So how do you take control of your focus? It starts with clarity. You need to know what you want, not just in some vague, wishful way, but with absolute precision. What kind of life do you want to create? What kind of person do you want to become? If you don't define it, the world will define it for you. And I promise you, if you don't have a plan for your life, you'll become part of someone else's plan. Once you're clear, you have to direct your mind every single day. You can't just set goals once a year and expect transformation. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't actively plant the right seeds, weeds will take over. And those weeds, they're negativity, doubt, distractions, fear. If you don't take control of your focus, those weeds will grow automatically. That's why you need a daily practice of intentional focus. Every morning, ask yourself, what do I want to create today? Who do I need to be? What is the most important thing I can do to move forward? These questions program your mind to focus on progress instead of problem. And here's the next step. You have to take action, because focus without action is just daydreaming. Once you're clear on what matters, move. Do something. Take a step, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect, because momentum is built through action, and the more you act with intention, the more power you have. And let me be real with you, this won't always be easy. You will be tested. You will be distracted. Life will throw curveballs. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Winners don't let distractions define them. They course correct, they adjust, but they never lose sight of where they're going. So I want you to ask yourself, am I leading my life or am I just reacting to it? Because the moment you decide to stop reacting and start creating, everything changes. You are the architect of your destiny. Take control of your focus, take control of your actions, and take control of your life. Every single person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every game changer has one thing in common. They didn't wait for permission to step into their greatness. They didn't sit around hoping someone would recognize their potential. They decided, they declared, they took ownership of their lives and became the kind of person who makes things happen. And that's the shift you need to make. Because if you don't take ownership of your life, who will? If you don't decide that you are responsible for your success, your growth, and your happiness, then you're leaving your future in the hands of chance, circumstance, and other people's agendas. The truth is, most people never step fully into their potential because they're waiting for the right time, waiting for the fear to disappear, waiting for someone to give them permission. But life doesn't work that way. There is no perfect time. The fear doesn't magically go away, and no one is coming to hand you the life you want. It's up to you. And taking ownership doesn't just mean working harder. It means shifting your entire mindset. It means eliminating blame, excuses, and victim mentality. It means refusing to let your past define you. It means recognizing that no matter what has happened to you, you are in control of what happens next. We all have moments where life knocks us down. We all experience setbacks, failures, and pain, but the difference between those who create extraordinary lives and those who don't is simple. Some people use pain as a prison and others use it as fuel. Which one are you going to be? Are you going to let challenges define you? Are you going to let fear keep you small? Or are you going to decide right now that you are bigger than your circumstances, stronger than your excuses, and more powerful than you've been led to believe? You've got to own everything, the good, the bad, the uncomfortable. Because when you take full responsibility for your life, something incredible happens. You gain power. You stop waiting, you stop wishing, and you start creating. And this applies to every area of your life. Your health, it's on you. Your relationships, they're on you. Your finances, your mindset, your happiness, it all starts with a decision to take ownership. And the moment you do, you become unstoppable. So let me ask you, what have you been waiting for? What excuses have you been making? And more importantly, what would your life look like if you took full ownership today? Because the truth is, your future is being shaped right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now in this moment. And if you want a life of greatness, it starts with one decision: to take control, to step up, and to own your destiny.